garage. We got the old Chevy Tahoe again, and we need to put a new pitman arm and idler arm on this thing. So we're going to go through this step-by-step procedure on that. So let's get started. We got to take the counter pin off this and that castle nut here, and then the nut over here on the idler arm to get the center link out. Now we got to separate these here and here. So what we'll do is you need to get one of these pickle forks like this, and you're going to put it up in here in between, and then you're going to hit it with a hammer till it comes out. So we had to take the tires off, unfortunately. So now we're going to go up through where the tire wheel well is and get our pickle fork up in here and start hammering away. Now we take these 3 steering box bolts out. You can bend this little tab up here for the inner fender well and then bend it back down. Or you can take a 21 millimeter wrench or a crescent wrench and just go slowly. I bent this one up. This is my own car, so I bent it up. But you can bend it back down and shape it, and nobody will know the difference. So these are the steering box bolts. So we're going to take them out. The last one we'll take out a little slowly, and we'll support it with my hand on the inside right over here where the steering box is. Now we're going to take the steering box and push it forward, and there's a gap between the front differential and the housing, and you're going to twist it, lift it up and push it forward. Now we can get to the nut right here. Take a 34 millimeter socket. Now you can do this with a ratchet, but I just choose to do air because it makes it faster. Now we take this pitman arm puller, and you can get these at any local auto parts store. You can rent them, or you can buy them at like Harbor Freight or something like that for like $7 or $10. They're pretty cheap. Make sure you line up the center pin of this pitman arm puller into the center pin of the steering box. Now we just tighten this up till it pops off. Now that we got the steering box back in, it's time to tighten up these bolts. Okay, now let's get to that idler arm. So with the idler arm, we're going to change the idler arm bracket also. And it's got 3 18 millimeter bolts and nuts that holds it together. And there's the 3 right up in there. And then you have to go through the frame on the other side and hold these. So we're going to do that now. So the bracket's right up here, and we're going to go ahead and take it off, and it just slides out right out the front. Now to change the idler arm, if you were to change it just on your own, you would still have to pull these bracket assembly off to get this nut off, because this nut's up underneath the subframe of it, and you can't get to this nut, so you still have to pull all this off if you're going to go ahead and change this idler arm. So that's why I opt to just change the bracket and the idler arm at the same time, because you have to have this off anyways. So we have the old one right here, and it's got this flat plane on it right here, so we want to make sure that we get this in the same kind of plane so our center link will go back in real easy for us and we don't have to fight it. This is where an air gun or some kind of electric impact works very nicely. If you were to do this by hand, you'd have to hold this down right here and then tighten this nut down with a big ratchet and extension, and it would get fairly hard, but you can do it. It might take two people, but here we go. There you go. We just got to make sure that we lube these two in the bracket, and then we're done. So we just got back from our test drive. I double checked everything underneath there. It looks all good. Whenever you replace the idler arm or the pitman arm, you should really go have this thing, have the toe set to make sure that you're within the specs. So we're going to go ahead and do that tomorrow, but that should wrap it up for this one. Thanks for watching White Collar Garage.